Welcome back to LA's Listening Lounge, where you'll find stories you can hear and words you can feel. Today's story is about betrayal, consequences, and a revenge so simple that it was delivered one check at a time. When Marcus Bennett's wife cheated on him, destroyed their marriage, and still managed to walk away with alimony, she thought she had won. But Marcus wasn't interested in courtroom battles or angry confrontations. Instead, he found a way to remind his ex-wife every single month that while she may have won the settlement, she lost the man. So grab your favorite snack, settle in, and let's get into today's story, Signed with Love and Revenge. Chapter 1. The Woman Who Left for 12 Years. Marcus Bennett believed he had built a good life. He was not perfect. He worked long hours. He sometimes forgot anniversaries until the morning of. He had a habit of bringing home grocery store flowers and acting like they came from a florist. But Marcus was faithful. He was steady. And he loved his wife, Denise, with the kind of loyalty that made people shake their heads and say, "That man is solid." Denise had not always appreciated solid. She liked sparkle, she liked attention, she liked walking into restaurants and knowing men noticed her before she sat down. When Marcus first met her, he thought her confidence was beauty. Later, he would learn it was hunger. The marriage began to crack long before Marcus knew it. Denise started dressing up for girls' nights that lasted until 2 in the morning. Her phone was always face down. She changed her password. She laughed at messages and then claimed they were from her cousin. Marcus saw the signs, but love made him slow to accept them. Then one Friday night, everything changed. Denise said she was going to a charity mixer. Marcus ended up at that same hotel by accident, meeting a client whose flight had been delayed. As he crossed the lobby, he saw his wife step off the elevator holding hands with another man. Not casually, not accidentally, comfortably. The man leaned down and kissed her cheek. Denise laughed like she had not laughed with Marcus in years. Marcus stood frozen behind a marble column, his wedding ring suddenly feeling heavy on his finger. When Denise saw him, the smile disappeared. "Marcus," she whispered. He looked at the man, then back at his wife. "Charity mixer?" he asked. Denise opened her mouth, but no words came. That night, Marcus moved into the guest room. By Monday, Denise had filed for divorce, and somehow she became the victim. Chapter 2. The Courtroom Performance. Denise walked into court wearing cream, pearls, and tears. Marcus almost laughed. Not because anything was funny, but because he had never seen acting so smooth. Her attorney painted Marcus as cold, emotionally unavailable, and obsessed with work. Denise sat there dabbing her eyes with a tissue, nodding like every word was scripture. Marcus had proof of the affair, text messages, hotel receipts, photos from a private investigator his brother had convinced him to hire after the lobby incident. But Denise's attorney was sharp. He argued that the marriage had been emotionally over long before the affair. He said Denise had sacrificed years supporting Marcus while he built his business. Marcus owned a successful construction supply company. It had started in his garage and grown into 3 locations. Denise had never worked there. She had never handled payroll, inventory, or contracts. But she had hosted parties, she had smiled beside him in photos, and according to her attorney, that was contribution enough. The judge granted the divorce. Then came the sentence Marcus never forgot. Mr. Bennett will pay spousal support in the amount of $4,000 per month for a period of 7 years. Marcus blinked. 7 years. $4,000 a month. To the woman who cheated, lied, and left. Denise lowered her head, but Marcus saw the corner of her mouth lift. A tiny smile, a private victory. Outside the courtroom, she walked past him with her heels clicking against the floor. "Don't be bitter, Marcus," she said softly. "Just pay what you owe." Marcus looked at her, calm and quiet. "I always pay my debts." Denise smiled. She had no idea what kind of debt she had just created. Chapter 3. The First Check. For 6 months, Marcus mailed the alimony checks without a word. Every month on the 1st, he wrote Denise's name in careful blue ink, Denise Bennett. Even after the divorce, she kept his last name. At first, he hated that most of all. She had betrayed the marriage, but kept the name. She had walked away from the vows, but kept the benefits. She had broken his trust, but kept his money. Every time Marcus dropped the envelope in the mailbox, it felt like losing again. His brother Darius told him to let it go. "Man, don't let that woman live rent-free in your head," Darius said. Marcus leaned back in his office chair. "She already lives $4,000 a month in my bank account." Darius laughed. "You need to start dating. I need peace." Same thing if you pick right. Marcus was not looking for love, but love found him anyway. Her name was Camille Ross. She owned a small interior design firm and walked into Marcus's showroom looking for custom wood finishes for a boutique hotel project. She was graceful, funny, and direct. When Marcus tried to offer her a discount, she raised one eyebrow. Do I look like I need charity? Marcus smiled for the first time in weeks. No, ma'am. You look like you charge people extra. Camille laughed. That laugh stayed with him. Their first date lasted 4 hours. Their second lasted 5. By the third, Marcus told her the truth about his divorce, Denise, and the alimony. Camille listened without judgment. Then she said, "The best revenge is not bitterness. It is becoming too blessed to be bothered." Marcus looked at her and thought, Lord, this woman might be dangerous, not dangerous like Denise, dangerous like healing. Chapter 4. Denise keeps watching. Denise told everyone she had moved on, but she watched Marcus like a woman waiting for him to fall apart. She checked his company website. She followed his business announcements. She asked mutual friends whether he was dating. When she heard about Camille, she pretended not to care. Good for him, she said, sipping wine on her friend Tanya's patio. Everybody deserves somebody. But later that night, Denise searched Camille's name online. She found her design firm. She found photos. She found one picture of Camille standing beside Marcus at a charity gala, wearing a deep emerald dress, while Marcus looked at her like she was the only woman in the room. Denise stared at the picture longer than she meant to. Marcus had never looked at her that softly. Or maybe he had. Maybe she had stopped noticing. The next month, when Marcus's alimony check arrived, Denise held it in her hand and smiled. No matter who he dated, this was proof she still had a place in his life. Every month, Marcus had to think about her. Every month, he had to write her name. Every month, his money came to her. That check was not just support, it was connection. Denise slid it into her purse and drove to the bank. The teller smiled. "Deposit today, Miss Bennett?" Denise lifted her chin. "Yes, my ex-husband still takes care of me." She said it loudly enough for the woman behind her to hear, and she enjoyed every second. Chapter 5. The new Mrs. Bennett Marcus proposed to Camille on a Sunday afternoon in the middle of an unfinished house. It was one of his company's restoration projects, a 1920s home with arched doorways and original hardwood floors. Camille thought they were there to discuss design options. Instead, Marcus led her into the empty dining room, where candles lined the windowsills and a small table held a velvet ring box. Camille stopped walking. "Marcus," he took her hand. "I spent years thinking love was something I had failed at. Then you came along and reminded me love is not the failure. Choosing the wrong person is." Tears filled Camille's eyes. Marcus got down on one knee. "Camille Ross, will you build peace with me?" She laughed through her tears. Yes. Their wedding was small, elegant, and full of joy. Darius stood beside Marcus as best man. Camille's sister cried through the whole ceremony. Marcus's mother hugged Camille so tightly people joked she might not give her back. At the reception, Marcus danced like a man who had been given his life back. Their photographer captured one perfect image. Marcus and Camille stood beneath white roses, foreheads touching, both laughing. Camille's hand rested against his chest, her wedding ring catching the light. Marcus looked completely free. When the photos arrived weeks later, Camille framed that picture for their bedroom. Marcus stared at it one morning while tying his tie. Then his eyes moved to the desk. An alimony envelope sat there waiting. Denise Bennett, $4,000, due on the 1st. Marcus looked back at the wedding photo. A slow smile spread across his face. Camille noticed. "What are you thinking?" she asked. Marcus picked up the envelope. "I'm thinking I should make my payments more personal." Chapter 6. Custom Design. Darius nearly fell out laughing when Marcus told him the idea. "You are petty," Darius said, wiping his eyes. "I did not know you had this level of petty in you." Marcus sat across from him at lunch, calm as ever. "It's legal. It is evil. It's a check. It's a message," Marcus smiled. "Exactly." He contacted a company that printed personalized checks. The representative asked what image he wanted. Marcus uploaded the wedding photo. The representative paused. "Sir, just to confirm, you want this image printed as the background on your personal checks?" "Yes." "For all checks?" "Yes." "And would you like any wording added?" Marcus thought for a moment. Then he said, "Put our names beneath the photo, Marcus and Camille Bennett." The first box arrived 2 weeks later. Camille opened it and stared. There they were, smiling, glowing, married, printed softly across every check. Camille covered her mouth, trying not to laugh. "Marcus!" "What?" "You are wrong. I am paying on time. You know exactly what you are doing." He kissed her forehead. "I know exactly what she did." Camille's smile faded a little. Marcus noticed. "I am not doing this because I still care," he said. "I am doing this because for too long, paying her felt like punishment. Now it feels like punctuation." Camille studied him. Then she picked up one check. "Well," she said, "at least we look good." Marcus grinned. "Every month." Chapter 7. Special Delivery. On the first of the month, Marcus sat at his desk. For the first time in a year, he did not dread writing the alimony check. He filled it out slowly. Pay to the order of Denise Bennett. Amount $4,000. Memo. Court-ordered support. Behind the words was the wedding photo. His new wife, his new life, his new peace. He signed his name at the bottom. Then he placed the check in an envelope and mailed it. 3 days later, Denise opened her mailbox. Bills, coupons, a department store catalog, then the envelope from Marcus. She smiled. There it was, her monthly reminder that Marcus still had to pay. She carried it inside, poured coffee, and opened the envelope at her kitchen counter. The check slipped out. Denise froze. At first, she did not understand what she was seeing. Then the image came into focus. Marcus, smiling, with Camille, in a wedding dress, on her alimony check. Denise's mouth fell open. She snatched it up and stared harder. Beneath the photo were the words, Marcus and Camille Bennett. Denise felt heat rise from her chest to her face. "No," she whispered. She grabbed her phone and called Marcus. He answered on the fourth ring. "Hello, Denise. What is this?" "A check. You know what I mean. It is your alimony payment. Same amount, same date." "You put your wedding picture on my check?" Marcus leaned back in his chair. "Yes. That is childish." "No, childish would have been missing a payment." Denise's voice sharpened. "You are trying to humiliate me." Marcus was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "No, Denise, I am reminding myself that I survived you." She hung up, but the check still had to be deposited, and that was the part Marcus knew would sting the most. Chapter 8. The Bank Visit. Denise considered mobile deposit. Then she remembered her phone camera had been acting up, so she drove to the bank. The whole way there, the check sat on the passenger seat, face up, glowing like an insult. Marcus and Camille Bennett. Denise flipped it face down. At the bank, she waited in line wearing sunglasses and a stiff expression. When she reached the teller, she slid the check across the counter quickly. The young woman picked it up, paused, and smiled. "Oh, this is a beautiful wedding photo." Denise's jaw tightened. "It's just a check." The teller looked closer. "Marcus and Camille Bennett, are they relatives?" Denise inhaled slowly. "No." The teller noticed the payee line. Her smile faded into professional silence. "Oh, I'll process that for you." Denise looked away. For the first time, depositing Marcus's money did not feel powerful. It felt embarrassing. The next month, another check came. Same picture, same smiling bride, same reminder. Then another and another. Denise tried calling her attorney. "Can he do this?" she demanded. Her attorney sighed. "Is the amount correct?" "Yes." "Is the check valid?" "Yes." "Is he paying on time?" "Yes." "Then there is nothing to file." Denise gripped the phone. "So he can just keep sending me checks with that woman's face on them?" "With his wife's face on them," the attorney corrected gently. Denise hung up. For years she thought Marcus's pain was her trophy. Now his happiness arrived every month in her mailbox, and she had to cash it. Chapter 9. The Tables Turn. Denise's new life was not as glamorous as she pretended. The man she cheated with had never planned to marry her. Once the thrill was gone, so was he. Her friends got tired of hearing about Marcus. Her social media posts looked happy, but her house was quiet. Meanwhile, Marcus and Camille were thriving. Their businesses began working together on luxury home renovations. Their names appeared in a local magazine feature about successful married entrepreneurs. Denise saw the article online. The headline read, "Building Together, Marcus and Camille Bennett on Business, Love, and Second Chances." Denise stared at the screen. Second chances. She hated that phrase. Marcus had gotten one. She had become a cautionary tale. That month's alimony check arrived 2 days early. Denise opened it with trembling fingers. There they were again, laughing beneath white roses. But this time she noticed something different. Marcus looked younger, not in age, in spirit. The bitterness she expected to see was not there. He was not broken. He was not waiting for her. He was not secretly miserable. He was happy. And somehow that hurt worse than revenge. Denise sank into a chair. For the first time she wondered what her life might have been if she had chosen loyalty over attention, but regret did not erase consequences. The next morning she deposited the check. The teller did not comment this time. Denise almost wished she had. Chapter 10. Paid in full 7 years sounded long until it ended. Marcus marked the final payment date on his calendar, but he did not celebrate out loud. On the morning of the last check, Camille found him in his office holding the checkbook. You okay? She asked. Marcus nodded. I thought I would feel more excited. What do you feel? He looked at the wedding photo printed behind the blank lines. Grateful. Camille smiled softly. For the money ending? For the reminder ending. He wrote the final check. Pay to the order of Denise Bennett, amount $4,000. Memo, final alimony payment. Then he paused. Camille touched his shoulder. Are you going to write something extra? Marcus shook his head. No, the memo says enough. He mailed it that afternoon. When Denise received the envelope, she already knew. The final payment. She opened it slowly. The same wedding photo looked back at her one last time. Marcus and Camille Bennett. For 7 years, she had accepted money from the man she betrayed. For 7 years, she had been forced to watch him love someone else. For 7 years, every check reminded her that she won in court but lost in life. Denise sat at her kitchen table for a long time. Then she whispered, I'm sorry, Marcus. But Marcus never heard it, and maybe that was part of the lesson. Some apologies arrived too late to be useful. Epilogue, the last check. 1 year later, Marcus and Camille hosted a dinner at their home. Family filled the rooms. Music played softly. Darius stood near the fireplace telling the same jokes he always told too loudly. Camille found Marcus in the hallway staring at a framed photo, their wedding picture, the same one from the checks. You miss sending them? She teased. Marcus laughed. Not even a little. She slipped her hand into his. Do you ever regret it? He thought about that. The checks had not changed the court order. They had not undone the betrayal. They had not returned the years he lost. But they had changed something inside him. They turned pain into proof. Proof that he had moved on. Proof that happiness could be rebuilt. Proof that the person who hurt you does not get to control the rest of your story. No, Marcus said, I don't regret it. Camille leaned against him. Across town, Denise kept the final check stub tucked inside an old folder. She never told anyone. Sometimes, when she came across it, she stared at the faded image and remembered the man who once loved her completely and the woman who received what Denise threw away. As for Marcus, he never wrote another check with that wedding photo again. He did not need to. The revenge had never really been the picture. It was the peace. And peace, once fully paid for, belonged to him. And that's the end of today's story. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't getting even. It's healing, it's moving forward, it's finding happiness after heartbreak and refusing to let someone else's choices define the rest of your life. If you enjoyed this story, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to LA's Listening Lounge. Your support helps this channel continue bringing you stories you can hear and words you can feel. And tell me in the comments, was Marcus wrong for putting his wedding photo on those alimony checks, or was it the perfect response? Until next time, be blessed, stay encouraged, and remember, your story isn't over yet. Thank you for listening.